Hey guys, so today I'm going to film a very simple eyeshadow look. This was actually requested by a cousin of mine and I was supposed to film this a while ago, but I just haven't been able to figure out a setting that would allow me to film my face properly. So yeah, I'm going to be using eyeshadows and brushes that she already has, or at least similar ones, so that it's very easy for her to follow along. But if anyone else other than her is watching this video, I hope that you also enjoy this. So I have already primed my eyelids with the Color Max 3-in-1, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be used as concealer, corrector, highlighter, eyeshadow base, whatever you want to use it as. It's very similar to the Sigma eyeshadow primer stick, also similar to the MAC paint pots, but you can also use a more sheer or clear eyeshadow primer if that's what you prefer. I'm going to start with a brow bone highlight, so it's going to be a few shades lighter than my skin tone and matte because that's what I prefer. I like starting with setting my brow bone with a matte highlight because it helps prevent me from blending my eyeshadow up too high, and it's definitely a tip I recommend to anyone who's just starting to do their makeup. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. blending brush that's very similar to one that my cousin owns. So I'm just going to start off by putting that light matte shade right under my brow bone, or right on my brow bone, right under my eyebrows. I concentrate it over here, and then whatever is left I bring it down here again so that the other eyeshadows don't blend up too high. So after that, I'm going to take a mauve shade that's very close to my skin tone. Again, I don't know if you can see that. It is very close to my skin tone. It is matte because I wanted to film both a matte eye look for her and a shimmery one, depends on what she prefers. Let me grab a mirror, that would make things a lot easier, I think. So I'm going to start off by applying this matte mauve all over my lids. I'm also going to bring it up into my crease and a little bit higher, not quite reaching my brow bone and where I applied the matte highlight, but just underneath it. Again, I'm using an e.l.f. brush, a flat one that's very similar to one that she owns. Then I'm going to take another blending brush, and this time I'm going to go with a brown shade that's a few shades darker than my skin tone. Can you see? So this will help us contour our crease a little bit. I am going to load up the brush and then I'm going to flick off the excess so that it doesn't fall on my face. And I'm going to put it right in my crease. I'm going to focus most of the color on the outer part of my crease. She has a similar eye shape to me where we don't quite have hooded eyes, but the crease area is very fleshy. So it helps if you apply a darker matte shade right here and then blend it up a little bit high, but concentrate it over here. That opens up the eyes and elongates it. I'm going to again focus most of the color on this part of my crease and then bring it in as there's less on my brush. I'm also going to take a little bit more product and focus it right on the outer corner. So this is what we have so far. You can see the difference between no eyeshadow and eyeshadow. It's very subtle, but it's good for whichever occasion you have, for work, for school, anything where you want to look polished but don't want to look like you have a lot of makeup on. I'm going to take the brush that I applied the matte highlight with and just blend around the edges. Don't go on top of the dark shade, just on the edge of the mid-tone mauve and the highlight shade to make sure that the edges are properly blended. Then I'm going to apply a highlight shade with this brush here. It's a pencil type brush. Again, it's similar to what she has. And I'm going to take a light shimmery eyeshadow and I'm going to concentrate it on my inner corners. If you have eyes that are very far apart, you should be a bit more careful when highlighting your inner corners, or else they can make your eyes look even further apart. But my cousin and I have eyes that are a bit more closer together, so for her and for me, I would go a bit more heavy with the inner corner highlight, and I would also drag it in a little bit on the lower lash line, just up to here. That way the eyes look more balanced and this whole area looks more brightened and highlighted. I'm also going to bring it up a little bit. Not too much, but yeah. So you can stop here, or if you'd want to add even more definition and even more depth to the eye, you can go with a brown or a soft black that's, again, a bit darker. Take a smaller brush like this. Just coat the tip of it, and again, tap off the excess. If tapping doesn't work, you can also brush it on your wrist a little bit to take out the excess. And then apply it just here, where you would usually apply your eyeliner. Just go there. You can obviously use an angled brush and use an eyeshadow as a powder liner to get a softer eyeline, but that still looks like liner. This is just to add definition without going for a liner look. So yeah, just there. Again, take the brush that you applied your crease color with and blend. Just tap. Don't swipe too much. That can make your eye look a bit more messy. Make sure that you have that lifted angle. If something drops down underneath your eyes, you can always use a powder that has a little bit of pigment but matches your skin tone and just apply it here to clean it up. Or if you're using really dark eyeshadows, I would recommend applying your eye makeup first before applying your foundation. Now I'm going to do another everyday look on this eye that's a bit more shimmery for that option, since usually she likes to go with a slightly shimmery eyeshadow. Again, I'm going to take the same mid-tone brown that's a few shades darker than my skin tone, and this time I'm going to apply that first. And again, I am concentrating that color on the outer part first. Now, as you can see, this already looks darker than over here. That's because I used a mid-tone mauve on this eye first. Whichever shade you apply right on top of your eyeshadow primer, that shade is going to be the most pigmented. So if you want your dark or bright eyeshadows to show up like dark and bright and intense, then I would recommend applying them straight on top of your eyeshadow primer. If you want to soften the effect of those shades, then I would recommend using an eyeshadow that's very close to your skin tone first. That would help soften the overall effect. So again, concentrate most of the color on the outer part of the crease. Then when there's less product on the brush, bring it in a bit more. You can, of course, use eyeshadows that are more cool toned or more warm toned, depending on what you like. I tried to pick shades that are like almost exact to what she has in her collection to make it easier for her. Also, because I personally prefer more neutral tones over like super warm tones or super cool tones, just because of my own skin tone and my wardrobe preferences. So again, I'm taking that color and concentrating it on the outer part of my lid. Build it until you get to the intensity that you want. You can do more or less. Take the brush you applied your matte highlight with, blend around the edges. Again, don't go on top of the dark shade, just on the edge where the dark shade meets the matte highlight. That will help give you a softer edge without getting a muddy look. Then take another flat brush, this one. Again, it's similar to the e.l.f. one, it's just clean. And take a shimmery shade. Now, over here you have quite a few options. You have, like, you can use something that's a bit more pink, which I think I'll go with since I'm wearing pink today. Or you could go with like a bronzy shade or a gold shade. You can also go with more of a champagne shade or a peachier shimmer. Like, all of these would go with the brown shades that I used in my crease, but again, I'm going to go with the pink because, well, it will probably go better with my dress, and I have mauve on the other eye, so it'll probably look less crazy than if I just have gold on one eye and mauve on the other. I'm still going to look weird with two different eyeshadow looks, but still. So yeah. Can you see? I hope you can see. I hope she can see what I'm doing. That's the most important part. So yeah, I'm going to take the flat brush with the shimmer and I'm going to apply it all over my lids. You can also go higher than your crease if you want, especially if you have eyes like me where the fleshy part covers some of your eyelid space, or if you have hooded eyes, I would recommend, if you have like super hooded eyes where all of this space is covered and you have only a small area, to like focus more dark shade over here, cut it off, and then go with the light shade over here. That would probably give you a better eye look. For my eye shape, this kind of a position, I don't know what I'm saying. For my eye shape, this technique is better. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, apply the shimmer until it reaches the matte browns that you used. Go back in with the brush you applied the matte brown with. Take a little bit more, and then apply it where you first applied the matte brown, but now softly tap to meet the edge of the pink so that they blend together. Don't go back and forth too much. That can make the eyeshadows muddy. That can also bring the shimmer where you don't want the shimmer, and it can also darken up the middle part. It's usually better if you like the position of your eyeshadows but want to blend in between them, to just tap where you want to blend. Again, if you want to make this a bit more intense or a bit darker, you can go in with the darker brown, or you can use a soft black or even a soft plum, anything like that, and go right here where you'd apply your eyeliner. Build up the shade, but keep it close to your lash line. Go back in with this brush with the mid-tone brown. Blend out the edges. If you want to make shimmery eyeshadows more intense, you can always use a setting spray or even your fingers. Fingers are always a good choice, especially if you don't have any clean brushes within reach. Just use your clean finger. Make sure they're clean. Use your clean fingers, and then just, yeah, can you see how much more intense that is? I'm sure most people watching this video already know all of these tips, but I wanted to go super basic because that's what she asked for. Again, I'm going to take that tiny brush with a light shade and highlight my inner corners. Again, I'm going to drag it a bit far and a bit this way as well. So yeah, that's the shimmery eye, that's the matte eye. With this lighting and with my shimmer being really subtle, I don't think you can tell much of a difference, but yeah. These are both like good daytime looks. You can obviously skip the dark brown if you'd prefer, and just go with the mid-tone shades if you want an even lighter look. I would also recommend taking like a flat brush and applying some eyeshadow on your lower lash line, especially if you're going to be applying mascara there. If you're not going to apply anything down there, that's fine. That can still give you a bright and lifted look. But if you're going to apply mascara, I'd recommend applying at least a little bit of eyeshadow of some sort. Don't go too dark again to keep it more daytime. It will again depend on your eye shape as well as to how smoky you can go on your lower lash line and still make it look daytime. But yeah, I think that's good enough. That's where I will stop this eye look. And I should probably apply mascara, but I hate watching people apply mascara in videos. Like, it always creeps me out, and I definitely don't want to creep anyone else out, so I'm not going to do that. I am wearing just a like sheer nude lip gloss today, but you can pair it with like this kind of a look with anything. If you want to go really soft, you can keep it nude. You can also do a pink lip like this, a bright purple one, or even a red. If you're going with mauve tones, I would recommend wearing more of a berry toned red, just to keep them in the same color family and to have a more harmonious look all over. But if you want to again go with a very everyday, very no makeup look, you can always go with a nude lip. But yeah, that's all for today. I will probably film another very basic tutorial of some sort for my cousin, depending on what she asks for. But again, to anyone watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you could actually see what I was doing. That's all for today. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.